The content of this channel is for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button. And please, feel free to share the video. Thank you. What's good, good people? I'm the G with a PhD. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up, no chasers. I've been gone for a little bit of time, and I'm about to be back full time, but I had some personal things that I had to endure. My father just recently had brain surgery, and he had to have a tumor removed from his uh, pituitary gland. And we found out that the tumor was non-carcinogenic. So that's good. The surgery was successful, but we had to spend some time and energy and effort making sure he was cool because he was a little bit nervous about the procedure, as anyone would be. Somebody probing and digging into your brain through endoscopy is pretty traumatic. So anyway, man, just spending time with him and then also knowing that that's a dangerous procedure. So, it can affect and impact your memory if things go wrong. So, just, trying to take time off to devote to what's actually important. Not that this is not important, but you get the picture. So, that's one of the reasons why I've been gone for a little bit of time. But I want to take time out to now give a shout out to the members of the Green Gorilla channel. Very Little, Jim and I Getting Knowledge, Darnell Smith, Alan Wiley, Mr. Valentino, Jason Hales, The Final Watcher, Black Men Being Brutally Honest, 77 Base X, Craig, Antonio Feria, Omni Americana, Cameron 87, Deshaun Nolly, Brian Peaks, Michael Ross, Nelso, Apex Prowler, Kareen Henry, Doc LaRock, Julius Ferguson, B. Hillfire, Jay Charles, Mark Holt, Lee Ways, Jeffrey Speed, The Face, Rais Muajid, Mark Swift, Show Me, Black Dog, Odd Khaled, Raphael Brown, Deanne, Donna Watts, Ryan Jackson, Hip Hop.catv, Coach DC, The Remedy, Kashif Caldwell, Ominous Black, I Am Black Man, Nichita, True King 337, Mr. Blue Collar, Barnolas, Kyle J. Sura, I'm Just Jules, Ad Media 83, Brian McMurray, TD Hip Hop Media, Drew Main, Artisan MC, Mr. Heat, Afro Analyst, Isa Abdul Zahir, Sir Anthony, MLR, Charles Rogers, Universal 178, Black Swerve 404, Rashid Barnes, Aaron Smith, DA, C Truth the Revelator, Gold Professor, Black Pill Ned Stark, Arthur Unknown, Dr. Tiasan Johnson, Brian Williams, Kalan Jakala, Ricky Dawson, Cedric Bowman, True 7360, BK Born Shaheed, James Washington, Hostile Adeb, Seven Coast Dojo, W Apparel 1, Roguish the Bill Monger, BGS Ivmore, Marvin Battle Jr., also, I can't forget Forrest Windu, and to all my Patreon supporters, Jason Warren, Soul Penn, Pursuer Prisoner, Taz, Kwaku217, S. Haywood, Dragon59, Supreme Ivmore, Adrian Hicks, Jay Bailey, Mr. Michi, Mo Mal, William Ruffin, and Asangwa. Thanks and shout out to y'all, man, for being members of the Green Gorilla channel and supporting me on an ongoing basis. I appreciate all your support. And I would like to give an extra special shout out to all the peoples in the chat. Sir Anthony, I know I spoke on you before, but Very Little, what's good? Sir Anthony, what's good? Man Friday, thank you. What's good, brother? Pharaoh, what's happening? World Class Hustler, what's good with you, brother? And Lee Rittenauer, what's happening? Roguish the Billmonger, what's cracking? Excalibur, what's cracking? What's up, everybody out there, man? I just want to give y'all a shout out and thank you, Man Friday, for the donation. I appreciate that. And thank you, Show Me, for the donation. I'm from the Show Me state, man. So you got to show me. What's up, Doc Johnson? What's cracking with you, bruh? So anyway, man, today's show is not going to be really long. I just want to read a few articles to you. No, they're not really articles, but they're blog pieces. And to give you some insight on this whole concept of being an alpha male. Because, already, I got a brother, Hostile Adef says, yeah, I'm an alpha male. I am an alpha male. And this terminology is, it's kind of profuse in this space. And, I get it. Guys regard themselves as men, leaders, people who are hard workers, morally upstanding, people who are bosses and people who are masculine and so on and so forth. I get it, but it's helpful and useful to explore the origins of terms, where or whence from do they come. So I've never regarded myself as anything, not a sigma male, beta male, alpha male. The only thing I consider myself to be is an omega man, as far as I am a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. But in relation to like being, I'm this boss, I'm an alpha man, I'm the most masculine man. I never was, as my brother Dollar Will says, I never was a chest thumper. I just never have seen the need to perceive myself as a chest thumper. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's okay. But I just want you to be aware of the origin of these terms, and then you could reconcile it with your own ideas about yourself. So I'm gonna share the screen, and these are blog pieces. And thank you, Keenan Smith, for the donation. I appreciate that, brother. So again, these are blog pieces, but me doing the research on these blog pieces, um, I found the contents therein to pretty much be accurate. Okay, so let me share the screen, and I'm going to read, and they're all very short. They're not long. Okay, so this is not going to be a protracted conversation or an elucidation of this idea or concept, but it should give you some insight as to the origins of the term. Okay, so I'm gonna share the screen right now. I'm share the screen. Go to the window, and bam, here we go. I assume you can see that. I'm gonna blow it up just a little bit to make sure you can see it. So anyway, this is a blog piece on a blog server called Goldcast, and the individual who wrote it was Matt Valentine, and he wrote it January 1st, 2018. So it's relatively old. But the article's entitled "The Truth About Alphas: Why the Alpha Never Existed and What It Means for the Way We Live and Work." Now, I will say that there's spin on top of these blog pieces because they're opinion pieces, which is quite natural for any writer to exposit their own opinion. But my interest is in the substance of the content of the concept of the alpha. Okay, so the alpha, the article starts off. It's a principle that has helped shape our belief about the way human and animal interactions work for nearly 50 years. The idea of an alpha has had such a significant effect on human culture that it impacts nearly every dominion in daily life, from family life to interactions in the workplace. Unfortunately, that effect has been mostly negative as it encourages and almost supports aggressive and dominant behavior. Fortunately, it's just flat out wrong. Now, I'm not here to support or to, denounce the spin, but that last passage was some spin. It was the opinion of the author. Okay. However, it's not opinion that the idea of the alpha is flat out wrong, especially how it was introduced into popular culture. Okay. And I've tried to explain to y'all over and over again how a lot of terminology begins in the academy and then it filters its way into popular culture. And by the time we take time to reflect on the idea has already been either debunked or seriously critiqued within the confines of the academy itself. But popular culture, it does its own thing. It dances to its own beat, its own drum. But it's, I think, necessary to explore and evaluate any ideas that come out of the academy and that filter into popular culture and then become dogma within the confines and the context of popular culture. But look, I don't want to get too wordy about this. Anyway, where did it come from? The original alpha theory started in the 40s with the research of biologist Rudolf Schenkel. Now, this is a fact. Now, I've looked over several, articles, and this is true. Okay, he's the one that came up with this concept of alpha. Okay, Rudolf Schenkel. But it didn't become popular until the 70s when an individual by the name of Lucien Meck published a book by the name of The Wolf: Ecology and Behavior of an Endangered Species. So this academician wrote a book, and for the most part, the premise of the book was taken up by people in the business world, and from there it filtered into popular culture, and now it's popular parlance for pickup artists, life coaches, male content creators on YouTube, blog writers, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, oddly enough, it's been long accepted by Mech, the individual who brought this concept into popular culture. It's been long accepted by Mech and other scientists that the science described in the book was based on a wrong interpretation of Schenkel's while viewing the wolves he studied. So this all comes from an ethologist, which is somebody who studies animals in specific kinds of environments. That's what an ethologist does. They study the social behavior of animals. Okay, so it's a wrong interpretation of Schenkel's work. Okay, but anyway, by that time the book had long been published and the theory had already taken popular hold in the culture, and the damage was done. Now the problem with the research that Schenkel did was that he studied wolves in captivity, as opposed to studying wolves in their natural habitat. He didn't study wolves in the wild, he studied wolves that were in captivity. Now, this is bound to have an impact on the output or the consequences or the end results of the study. So anyway, the implication that's drawn by scientists now is that animals in captivity are more aggressive, especially when they are given scarce resources. So anyway, this made them more aggressive and created dangerously competitive environments where the dominant wolves had their pick of both food and mates. But this was nothing like the wolves' natural habitat. So think about the way people behave when resources are low and they're in a desperate situation. We start to panic and fight one another because our survival instincts kick in by a factor of 1,000. This isn't our basic state. It's just a reaction to a change in our natural habitat. And this is why, as a scholar, I'm interested when I study people, what environment or conditions do these people live in? What kind of systemic background conditions, are extant such that we can evaluate their behavior and their activity impartially and objectively as much as possible. But anyway, so in the natural habitat, the behavior of wolves is quite the opposite of the way that they act in captivity. So most of us are aware that working together with others is far more effective than aggressively bumping heads and attempting to assert ourselves forcefully. Now, I don't know what you know, but I'm about to put my own spin on this. My experience has been when you act aggressively, eventually somebody's going to smack you, man. You're going to get challenged. And being aggressive as a leader is not the most effective means by which to actually be a leader, because you have to be able to take input from a variety of channels or sources such that you actually have intel. And it's very difficult to do when you're a leader and you refuse to listen to what people who are underneath your hierarchy have to say. How can you know, if you're a general, what's going on the ground if you don't listen to the enlisted staff? You just don't know. Okay, so it's not just about being a boss and being forceful and getting your way. It's about being effective and being a shepherd more so than it is about being a domineering, controlling, and aggressive individual. Okay, so anyway, what are wolves like in nature? So anyway, in nature, wolves operate harmoniously. This is what they found, the scientists, the ethologists. Okay. So how do they act and how do they conduct their lives? Well, when a male and a female wolf meet, they mate and raise their pups together as a team. Okay. This is what a wolf pack is. It's not just a bunch of wolves, a whole bunch of males and females running around, and there's a hierarchy amongst them. Wolves, for the most part, when they become adults or they can fend for themselves in the wild, they are forced to leave their packs and to meet up, if they're a male, to meet up with a female wolf and to form a pack of their own. And the male and the female work cooperatively in order to raise their children. And when the children get old enough, they kick them out and the process starts over again and over and over and over again. There's cycles. I mean, they don't just have one litter of pups. They probably have maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 or 7. Okay. Until they become old and, maybe they exposed to, the vicissitudes of the wild. But this is pretty much how it goes. Okay. So anyway, a wolf pack then is simply a family in the same way a human family functions or is supposed to function. So when the pups become young adults, they venture off on their own to do the same. There's no alpha, no beta. There's no asserting dominance by force. Simply a family that lives and breathes together every step of the way. Now, yeah, nature is harsh, the author says. Life is tough. Uh, and our daily lives as humans, while generally more comfortable and safe, isn't very different. However, nature offers us valuable cues as to how we can navigate such a harsh environment. That's why we originally latched on to alpha theory. It told us how to live and survive better. Nature's an incredible thing. In it, you can find virtually every kind of defense and survival mechanism you could ever imagine and things you couldn't even imagine. Okay. So anyway, he goes on and on and on. And I mean, ultimately, his spin in the end is that look, being egoistic in nature is not an optimal way of being strategic. Yet there has to be reciprocity within the confines of relationships in nature, or else those organisms won't be able to thrive and to function and survive. So that's the first article. Okay. That is the first article. All right. Now, the second article is a Forbes blog piece, and it's written by an individual by the name of Danny Placido. So I'm going to show that on the screen at the current moment. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen. Now, this ought to be of special interest to BGS, who is a self defined Sigma male. I'm not calling you out, BGS, man. You know you my dude, bro. But I'm just reading the articles, man. But at any rate, Sigma guy. Okay, and shout out to Hugh Flint. Says he can't stay, but he can't wait to watch the rerun. Can't wait to have you watch it, my brother. But at any rate, the pseudoscience behind the Sigma male explained. And look, there's always going to be a reference to Schinkel and how Schinkel was wrong and how his research has been falsified. Okay, so that's pretty much what you're going to get over and over again. But let's look at it at any rate. So the pseudoscience. Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. That's not what I meant to do. And now I can't go back. It won't let me go back. I've never seen it to where you can't actually hit the back button. But anyway, I'm gonna find it anyway. Hold on, let me get there. I apologize for that faux pas. Yeah, man, I gotta go through all this rigmarole. Let me uh let me look it up one more time. Alpha male Forbes. Okay, found it, got it. Apologize for the hiccup there. But Chrome tab. So The pseudoscience behind the Sigma male explained. Again, it's Danny D. Placido. And here's the article, okay? Okay, so I got only 2 free articles, 2 more. God dog it, man. I did the same bullcrap. Okay, anyway, so many ads and pop-ups and stuff, man. And they make you watch them all. So I'll cut this out on the replay. All right. Are you tired of reducing masculinity into the 2 nonsensical made up categories known as alpha and beta males? Well, a viral Twitter post on Monday drew the internet's attention to the term Sigma male, another exciting and innovative way in which society can limit masculine expression. The Twitter post highlights media which reduces the broad spectrum of masculinity into a rigid hierarchy composed of alpha, beta, and sigma males so that men can understand and accept our place in society without ever considering ourselves as, human beings with unlimited potential. So that's his spin. What is an alpha male? For those who are unfamiliar with manhood mythology, the concept of an alpha male is based on the absurdly illogical beliefs that groups of humans resemble a wolf pack. And this comes for us through Mech, okay? Destined to be led by an aggressive, domineering leader, also known as the alpha, okay? Not only is this not how humans operate, it's not even how wolf packs function. The now debunked theory was based on observations of wolves living in captivity. And subsequent studies of wild wolves concluded that wolf behavior was far more nuanced than a binary between an alpha and his cowering subordinates. But the correction came too late. The concept of an alpha male stuck around, firmly embedded in pop culture, an ideology that can justify oppressive hierarchies to reduce people to empty stereotypes. The alpha male is practically a star sign, imbued with a hint of incel ideology, used to confirm poisonous perspectives and exaggerate pre existing insecurities. What is a Sigma male? A Sigma male is essentially an introverted alpha male, offering misguided men a chance to place themselves at the very top of this imaginary hierarchy without the loud, boisterous personality that an alpha boasts. Examples of a Sigma male apparently include John Wick, because who doesn't want to compare themselves to a cool, composed assassin? Although when it comes to choosing a role model that exemplifies a non-existent category of manhood, one can do a lot worse than Keanu Reeves. Other made-up categories include beta, gamma, and omega males, all of whom are placed towards the bottom of the hierarchy, meaning that they are unlikely to find financial stability or attract a sexual partner. Now, if you haven't noticed, this reductive line of thinking is exactly how pickup artists view the world. It's about as insightful as a BuzzFeed quiz that categorizes humans into different flavors of Starbucks syrup. Now, this is his spin. Will the Sigma male prove to be as influential and misleading as the Alpha? Perhaps Twitter is pretty good at popularizing poorly thought out ideas. And that's the end of the blog piece. Okay. So, anyway, all I'm trying to do is to make you aware of the origin of the term. Okay. And I will, in the description, post links to I'll post links to these articles. Okay. I'll actually start doing that now. I will begin that process now, my friend. So here's another article written by a blog piece writer, blogger, and it's called "The Misconception of Alpha Wolves: What We Can Learn from How Wolf Packs Actually Live." That's a woman that wrote this, but all I'm trying to do is to get you to understand that they go over and over again over the work of Schinkel, and then after that, Mech, and they highlight how the whole concept of alpha males comes to us from this analogy to wolves in nature and about their behavior that doesn't even occur naturally. It only occurred in wolves in captivity. So that's the point that I'm trying to underscore. But anyway, the last article, let me share with you, and then I'm gonna open it up if you want to converse about it. Because some of you consider yourselves to be alphas, and that's fine. I'm not here to critique you or your perception of yourself or the rank that you hold in society or in your personal or social interactions. I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to give you information about where the concept comes from. And if the concept comes from a faulty thesis, then you might have to rethink your own ideals about yourself in relation to these kind of terms. But you don't have to. I'm just giving you the information. Anyway, so this blog piece is written by Liberty Ann. Um, and she's a woman. A lot of us don't like to hear what women have to say, but nonetheless, I thought the article was decent. Alpha wolves are a stereotype. Debunking the myth. Wolf packs don't operate any different than a functional human family. In the summers between 86 and 98, biologist and wolf expert Dave Meck observed wolf packs inhabiting the Canadian wilderness. This was rather unprecedented at the time, since other existing studies on the hierarchies of wolves were largely based on packs that were kept in captivity. Wolf lifespans in the wilderness are capped at about 8 years. The strong-willed offspring will leave the pack between 9 months to 2 years of age, and some may stick past 3 years. This is the wolf, I guess, in the couch in his mother's basement. Anyway, packs in captivity have considerably longer lifespans and don't have the option to break away when they wish, thus fueling overall competitiveness within the pack. This explains the aggressive alpha wolf. In a natural setting, the breeders, the parents, are alpha, while the rest, offspring, are subordinates. Meck didn't observe any significantly aggressive or competitive behavior between or within the ranks, unless in the context of discipline, when a subordinate deviates a little too far, or when there's a shortage of food. Members may show some degree of submissiveness to each other under certain circumstances, which is more or less signs of appreciation. Both alphas have their respective duties. The female tends to the offspring, and the male provides. They can both vary in age, and it won't affect how they handle their obligations. In one instance, he noted, the female wolf snatched a hair from the male wolf and immediately fed it to the pups. The male showed no contempt of any sort. Interestingly, there was a second hair right after the first, and before the female noticed, the male ate a little bit before handing it over. So when there's an abundance of food, there's no pecking order of who gets to eat first, and they'll all joyously feast at the same time. When the food is limited, the young and weak will be sufficiently fed, while the rest of the pack will ration. So throughout this decade-long study, there weren't any conclusive evidence that points to alpha wolves initiating confrontational behavior just for the sake of showing off their dominance. So the takeaways, this is her spin. Aside from training domesticated pups, there are flaws in what many believe constitutes being alpha. It has less to do with ego and more how others actually perceive you from how you carry yourself and tend to your obligations. Being an alpha male or female heavily carries a connotation that one should be immovable and impassive in order to obtain and maintain dominance. This is far from the truth of how wolf packs really live. Then it says you can't be alpha wolf if you're a lone wolf, and I'm skipping to prioritize your relationships. I'm just skipping that. Okay. In order to get anywhere worthwhile, you need a support system, a network. Once subordinates reach of age, they'll leave their family and search for another individual to breed with to start their own pack, subsequently becoming alphas themselves. There'll be others you come across who share similar goals, so avoid initially sizing them up as a threat because they're only another like-minded individual. That's her spin. Anyone you get involved with should have a similar level of competency. If not, you should be open to helping them reach that point if they're willing to put in the effort. In Meck's study, subordinates who showed proper initiative were never shunned by the alphas. So at any rate, there's more, encouragement to be humble, which I think is a good quality. I think being humble is a virtue. But at any rate, there are 3 articles. There you have it. That illustrate and that demonstrate that this whole alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, whatever the hell, mu, nu, phi, omicron, pi. You know, I'm not trying to go through the whole Greek alphabet, but the whole idea is that, you know, this characterization of human beings being compared or analogous to wolves was, first of all, based upon a theory that's been falsified. But not only that, not even wolves act the way that, you know, we consider alphas to act. Not even like chimpanzees or gorillas act this way. And I mean, there's a ethologist by the name of Franz de Waal, and all you got to do is look up, you know, on YouTube, and you'll see videos where he studies, you know, the chimpanzees and capuchin monkeys and gorillas and all different types of primates, and even they don't, you know, just act, you know, in a straight dominant way. They even orangutans and other monkeys, they don't act with an iron fist and rule with an iron fist. Now, not to say that there's no hierarchy at all, but it's not a hierarchy where you know, you rule and govern just purely based upon your strength. Okay, so at any rate, I want to know what y'all think about that. I'm gonna share the link, and if you want to conversate about it, you can. If you don't, I'm good with that too. You know, it's my first day back. Been out for a while. I just wanted to give you that information. I thought it would be interesting for you to know that this, you know, this whole concept comes from Schenkel, which was then revamped by Met. And here we are in the manosphere and other places in contemporary society, you know, just utilizing these terms without knowing their origins, and also without knowing that what people studied eventually became falsified. And another thing that I want to illustrate or demonstrate, you know, so let me I'll just say this and get this out of the way. Thank you, Super Tech. I appreciate the donation, my brother. We got Eric here, I do believe. What's up, brother? How you, man? Are you there? Semper, man. Fidelis, always faithful, man. Marine guy, what's up? He's not talking, man. For some reason, he's got something going on with his mic. I'll see if he wants to come back a little bit later. So let me take a break right quick. I'm gonna play a little commercial, man, and then we'll see if his stuff is working when I come back. Be right back. All right, y'all, we back. We got some people want to talk. We got Simple Fidelis, people want to Leon Gray.
Okay, I'm in here now. Can you hear me?
Noise going on, man. I hear you, brother, loud and
Right
clear.
on. Cool.
I hear your voice. It's piercing like a knife. Eon, what's good with you, brother? Marcus Aurelius,
Hey, man,
keep it
listen,
100.
man.
What's good with you, brother?
Yo.
It's piercing like a knife. Yeah, what's good with you, somebody brother? Need to turn the YouTube off. Turn the YouTube off. Pearson like tonight. Yeah, what's good with you, brother? Somebody need to turn the YouTube off. Okay, so hey man, somebody's gonna have to turn their YouTube off. Y'all done seen enough Kevin Samuels. No.
That was me. My bad. What's
going on?
You
got a show. You know better.
I realized
know better.
It was a
but okay, so let me just say this though before y'all say anything. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. Appreciate your chiming in and expressing your viewpoint on this issue. I don't consider myself to be a boss of anybody. I just consider myself, like KRS-One, to be a teacher. Because as he says, in my philosophy, if you were to rule or to govern a certain industry, everyone right now in this room would be in misery. No one would get along nor sing a song because everyone be singing for the king. Am I wrong? Now you have to have hierarchy, not saying that there doesn't have to be an established hierarchy. Okay. Because otherwise, how are you going to delegate responsibility and duties and get things done? Okay. But I think I've always thought like Dollar Will does. Okay. I'm trying to master myself. I'm trying to be better than me. I'm not trying to be better than you. I'm not trying to outdo you or you. I'm trying to outdo me. Okay. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be better than me. I'm trying to be the boss of me. I'm trying to get my shit together. Now, I shouldn't have used that epithet, but I did. Curse words roll so easily off of my lips. But you get the picture, right? And I've been a leader in the classroom. I've been a leader as a manager of businesses. I've been a leader as an owner of businesses. Okay. But I've always been, I consider, myself to be fair and not somebody just dictating like a field marshal what an individual has to do. Okay. So what's your thoughts about this, man? What you think?
I'm going to put it in the context of the nuclear family, as far as the wolf pack, how it, how can I say, well, how it lives together. The fact of the matter is that, yeah, okay. My wife considers me to be the proverbial head of the family. Okay. I mean, I have certain obligations, provisions, protection, and what have you, for them, especially when, my children were young. They're adults now. My daughter's 30 years of age. My son's 28. But when they were kids, there were certain obligations I had to teach them things. Even if my wife didn't necessarily approve, I would explain to her later. We would consult about that. Okay. But if the matter had to be taken care of right away, it was taken care of right away. Okay. And sometimes she would do that. But the fact of the matter is, if you're gonna have harmony within your family, such as the wolf pack does, okay, it can't be that somebody that the man's got the foot in the neck of the wife and the children. That's not gonna work. And I've learned this over 30 years of marriage. So that's and then as far as, like, let's say, okay, in the workplace. I mean, even though I was in charge of my workplace, when I did things, I worked in caring services. So when I did things differently from the rest of the crew. Sometimes I would give extra care to certain clients because I know I need to do that. I knew I need to spend more time with them. And when my workmates would say, come on, Eric, you spend too much time. You spend too much time. No. Time out. I know what I'm doing here. Y'all go ahead. I'll come down later. And I do my thing. I come down later, and people say, well, you're taking too much time doing it. Take it for a time. You're doing too much. No, I'm not doing too much. Okay? These people need help every day. You all know it as well as I do. Okay? But I do it my way to the best of my ability, to the full length of my work ethic. Okay? Just as you all do. Okay? But I'm not going to do things exactly the same as you. Okay, that's my spiel.
All right, my brother. What, Eon? What you got to? Well, actually, my man Marcus was here first, so go ahead and kick your
Well,
knowledge, man.
but Mark is gonna bring the flavor. You know what I'm saying? You might
Okay, well, Eon,
let
go
him
ahead,
bring
step
up the rear
in.
because he's the alpha male in this proverbial picture.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So
Now you go ahead, Ian. You go first, man.
Go ahead, Ian. Go ahead.
I appreciate that.
Okay. No, man. I mean, this thing here, man, is a good piece. You know what I'm saying? Because it gets us off of this stereotypical ideology and actually has us look, more in depth into actually how we should be structuring ourselves moving forward in the future. Because I think a lot of times our relationships with Black women are governed by these principles too, as well. So if it was just around amongst us, whether or not we were using the term alpha, beta, whatever, it wouldn't matter because at the end of the day, though, those who were more proficient, those who were the strongest, would always rise to the top, and it wouldn't be a situation where uh, people would have to challenge each other. Men just naturally respect other men who are more proficient in different areas. That's just in our nature, and it's not necessarily because we subscribe to an
Well,
alpha male hierarchy. We just respect other men, as left them to our own vices. What'd you say?
no, I didn't say anything. I was about to say something because your
Can you
mic
hear
went
me?
out, but yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So so for me, I think the danger in these terms is when women get a hold of them. When women get a hold of them, they can manipulate men, and maneuver men, and get them to either be see themselves as more than what they are or less, to their benefit, And I think in a lot of ways, a real alpha male, if we're going to use that term, he is able to make and form other alpha males in his own image. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what has to be seen in the situation. All right, that's it.
All right, Eon. Thank you for your contribution, sir. Appreciate you. I always like to see you here, man. Now we come to the infamous,
Appreciate you.
the 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 infamous Marcus Aurelius.
Am I really?
No, I'm just talking crazy,
I
man. What's
know. I
going
know.
on?
No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, shout out to Ian. Appreciate. I'm glad you got the forum back on. You know what I'm saying? And good to see you back. Um, this is what I have to say about this whole thing. I mean, I was just having this conversation this morning on Facebook. This very morning. I don't think that we need the term alpha male to be scientific in order for it to apply to certain things, because we have a lot of other words that are not scientific, but they describe certain behaviors and certain characteristics of different people. Right? We have different terms that describe women, that describe men, such as incel and educated lame and this, that, and the third. We have Pookies and Ray Rays and stuff like that, and we know who we're talking about when we say these things. I mean, we've all seen memes on the internet that have a list of the women you should avoid, and this crazy chick and silent chick and this chick and that chick. And you even have girls calling themselves stallions, and we know a stallion is a male horse. So I don't think that it has to necessarily be scientific to apply, but I'll say this: the danger in these words sometimes is that, like you said, once they get into pop culture, they begin to become a little subjective, and people start using them and defining them to mean what they want them to mean. I don't when I hear the term alpha male, I don't think of necessarily someone who's aggressive and violent and et cetera, et cetera. That's not who I think of. But if even if we remove the science or remove the wolf study and all of that, and we just use these words to describe certain types of guys, that would be enough for me. The only problem I have with it is these terms get abused. Just like the word incel has now become any man that a female doesn't like. You know what I mean? Like, if we don't like you, you're an incel. Even though the term means involuntary celibate, it has a meaning. It has a definition, even though it's not scientific, but it has a definition. It's a word that didn't exist 10 years ago, but it describes a particular sort of person, and you can't make it mean what you want it to mean. It means what it means, whether you like it or not, right? So again, these alpha and these beta male descriptors also become ways to describe men who you like and men who you don't like. So you're on Facebook or anywhere else, and a girl disagrees with you, you say something she don't like, and now you're a beta, even though the meaning of the word has nothing to do with that.
And one of the reasons why I brought this whole conversation up was why, because you just had Dr. Umar Johnson kind of like go off on the manosphere and called the men here betas for making black women feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole thing is first of all, we need to be accurate, especially if you're an academician. You have to be accurate in your description. First of all, you have to define the terms, but the terms have already been defined. It means you're just a weak ass dude. Okay, you're a weak dude, and you browbeating women and making them feel bad. But come talk to me. Come holler at me, cause I'm an alpha. I'm at the top of the food chain, baby. Like I'm Denzel Washington in Training Day. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. I run this here. You hear? I'm the big King Chopper-Tulas. You know what I'm saying? I'm the apex predator. You know what I'm saying? I don't look down. You feel me? So but in my viewpoint, even in nature, if you are a violent and aggressive male and you're the leader, you eventually get deposed because the other members of the Congress of Gorillas, the pack of wolves, they're
gonna put you out.
They're gonna kick you out, bro. But what I see is a lot of men thinking that being a man and being masculine means being rough and tough. To the point where you're not listening. You don't show any reciprocity. You have no empathy. You have no regard to anybody's feelings or their thoughts or their contributions. You just want things your way. Okay? Now, anybody who's an effective leader, right, is going to have to understand that you have to take intel and you have to take input from people who you're leading. Otherwise, what are you leading? You're leading people to nowhere. Because but it all depends on if you're just leading for yourself or you're leading for the benefit of the group, right? But this whole alpha beta, to me, it's just a way to present. Well, I'm a real man. You're not a real man, and as far as I'm concerned, I kind of want to get away from that because I think manhood is intangible. It's not predicated upon your physical prowess. It's not predicated upon your ability to just dominate and control people. The qualities and virtues that are associated with manhood, they don't have anything to do with just chest thumping, and forcing and being domineering. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Most of the effective leaders that I've come to know, have been under, and who've taught me, were persuasive.
Yeah.
Right. They made sense. They didn't make it feel as if listening to what they had to say and following their directives were painful. Do you get what I'm saying? The most effective people or bosses that I've had, because I've been an iron worker and I wasn't in control. I had to listen to what the foreman said. I had to listen to what the superintendent said, and the other journeymen, like when I was especially an apprentice, I had to listen to what they had to say. And I couldn't just flip them off. And the most effective, journeymen that I was under, were teachers. And they were trying to show me and explain to me, well, this is why we're doing this. This is why this process is one where you got to do this step first and the other step later. It wasn't just you do it because I say so, which your parents do sometimes, But you're a youngin,
Well, but
you gotta you gotta get told what to do, and then you understand maybe 10, 15 years later why you're doing it. But I mean, for an adult, but the only thing I wanted to do is to demonstrate how this concept came into the business world. It came out of academia, then it was, made popular by, this academician who was writing for a popular audience. Then it becomes absorbed into popular culture. Now you got pickup artists using it. You got, dating coaches using it. You got people in the business world using it. And it all comes from a misunderstanding, a falsified theory to begin with. Now, but my second piece that I gotta say, and this is gonna hurt some feelings. Like we black men, we foundational black Americans are African descendants, slave in these Americas, right? My viewpoint is, man, ain't too many black alphas, man. According to how it's being defined by popular culture, it ain't too many black alphas out here, man. I mean, I'm talking about black alphas like running the government, institutions, bureaucracies, commerce and industry, fleets of trucks, running media, controlling, oil refinery plants, chemical processing plants, shipyards and docks, cargo, planes, and so on and so forth. It's like, come on, man. Like, who you fooling? Alpha of what? Alpha of what? Alpha compared to what?
Can I jump in here?
Getting chicks.
Yes, sir,
Marcus. Somebody else want to go?
I just wanted to throw that out there. Now you can debunk it. Tear me down, Marcus. Go ahead. Make me the beta I truly am. Make me the beta I truly am. I'm just being silly, man. I'm just adding a little levity to the conversation.
Listen, notice. Listen, it doesn't matter what generation we're in. There will always be descriptors and words created to describe either the favored men or the unfavored men, whether they be like I said earlier, the incels or the educated lames, or whether you want to talk about alpha men or superior men, or what we have now is the high value man, right? Now, understand this, right? The same hierarchy is never created for women. Think about it, right? We don't talk about the different levels of hierarchy for women, right? And I know that's not what this conversation is about. But what I'm saying is, whether we want to talk about alpha and beta and all the other, sigmas and gammas and this and that, whether it was derived from a misunderstanding or a bad study on wolves, there will always be these words that will describe, favorable men or unfavorable men, and in this society, and from now all the way into the future, it'll be something else, even if it doesn't come from science. There will always be in those words, whatever they be in whatever generation, will be bastardized by popular culture and the mainstream into describing either the men who serve a particular person or a particular group of people's purpose or not. So if you don't serve these people's purpose, then you will be called beta, lame, whatever, low value male or whatever. It doesn't matter. Everything else that's true for you doesn't matter. As long as you don't serve the purpose of these people, they will describe you as such. So whether you have a bunch of money or don't have a bunch of money, or whatever you lack, or whatever, even if you have all the things that fit the description of the title they're giving you, if you're not using it to the benefit of those people, they're going to call you beta, low value, whatever. These terms will always be used subjective to the person who is trying to derive a profit or benefit from you as a man.
So let me get this correct. Let me just rehash what you're saying.
Yes,
these categories are going to exist because they're going to be hierarchies created amongst persons whether male, female, black, white, red, difference, gay, straight, whatever the case may be. People are going to create hierarchies, okay? And the nomenclature related to the hierarchies is unimportant because people are just going to create hierarchies to express value about a certain group of people above and beyond another group of people, right?
I'm making this specific to men.
Okay, so so I think what you're trying to get to is that women are now taking on these terms and using them in order to identify men who don't serve their interests in relation to being whether, they're considered high value, low value, beta, sigma, gamma, whatever the case may be, omega. They're beginning to utilize terms like Ian said in order to denote their disapproval of your inability to provide some sort of service or benefit to them.
An inability or your refusal.
Or your refusal, right?
Another word is toxic.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with you on this point. Okay, I do believe that some people, given the environment or the conditions in which you live, are going to be regarded as having more value than others. I myself personally, I try to stay away from like being cognizant of how people regard me as being valuable or not. And the only reason I do that is because I don't want to get caught up in other people's conceptions about my value and worth when I should be establishing that for myself. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why, I've never been into, well, I'm this dude, I'm that type of dude, because I'm just that type of dude, I'm this, I'm the, the Macaframalama. What I'm saying?
None of us has to subscribe to the nonsense, but we have to be aware of this is how it always been. I mean, even there was times before us, and there's times after us. But the dollar will, he's absolutely correct. True, but the marketplace decides. He's absolutely correct, and that's the point that I was going to. We can determine our own value to ourselves, but at the end of the day, or we can imagine our value to ourselves, but our value to ourselves is not necessarily our value subject to other people.
And that's true.
Yeah.
Because that's, but
it's safe for women.
Definitely for women. I've been looking at this whole gender thing, man, and the so-called war that's been taking place. I'm glad that these conversations are now being held out in the public, whereas, 2 years ago, man, you wouldn't really hear these kind of conversations being had between men and women, in the public sphere, on YouTube or elsewhere, social media or elsewhere. But I think men are gaining ground, and I think we got more ground to gain. That's just my opinion, though. Okay, but the only thing I've never worried about what other guys thought, man. I just try to be a service to the guys that roll and rock with me. Like if you rock with me, if you my partner, man, I'm gonna make sure that I'm reciprocitous in my dealings with you. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's going to the bar, you buy a round of drinks, I'm gonna buy another round. You buy a round, I'm gonna buy another round.
That's it.
And it ain't trying to outdo you or show you I'm better than you. It's just like, look, you ain't gonna sit here and buy no brews all night. And I'm not buying no brews all night too. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm in a jam or something like that and I can't do it. But I'll let it be known before I go to the bar. Like, I'm in a jam. I ain't gonna ball with you and spend money on drinks all night. I ain't doing it tonight, partner. You know what I'm saying? Because I got other things to do with my funds or whatever the case may be. But I mean, but the whole thing is men have to be of service to one another in order for them to actually be friends and to develop, meaningful and substantive relationships, man. You got to be able to do something and provide something for your people, man. And I always have tried. But yeah, go ahead.
This conversation is very important because as you were elaborating to, we have to go further and understand what real brotherhood is based on, your anecdotal, how you are expressing, how you would do with your brothers and whatever, the alpha male stereotypical outlook is that there's no brotherhood involved in this. You know what I'm saying? And that becomes, for me, the problematic aspect, you know, to which we're not actually looking at. And then, you know, and then in your discourse, you were talking about how, you know, to some degree, you know, these ideologies are flourishing within prisons, you know what I'm saying, or settings where there's a lack of, you know what I'm saying, and I think to some degree, you know, we should be determining, you know, our worth and our value not based on scarcity, but on the ideas of when everything is going and working in the most optimal functional manner. Then let's decide who's who and what's what. You know what I'm saying? Because then we get into this self-fulfilling prophecy, and we think that, okay, you know what, you know, everything is going good and there's no alpha males. Okay, let's create some. You know what I'm saying? So let's just wreck everything that we got going on and get back to what alpha male hierarchy is. You know what I'm saying? When it's not necessary in some cases. You know.
I agree.
And so look, I'm not trying to be better than any other man in the manosphere, you know, or to try to demonstrate that I'm worthy of having more attention and adoration than any other man in the manosphere. But you know, I know my role, so I guess I'm a beta manosphere dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you know, and look, I'm not. Look, I am a gorilla, you know, but and I am aggressive sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, I am aggressive sometimes, and I'm off-putting sometimes. And you know, I have been known to slap a motherfucker in the mouth sometimes.
You know what? No,
But
you know what, Green Gorilla. You know what, Green Gorilla. I have a problem. I have a problem with people who got a problem with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you bring important, useful information that the manosphere needs, and I think in a lot of times, because I saw the comments. I mean, because you know there was discussion about, okay, where you stand within the manosphere, and people were like, oh, okay, you are too academic. But you know, that's because motherfuckers, they the motherfucking betas, because they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Just because another man brings another service or skill that you don't have, don't mean that motherfucker, you don't gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just about what you need, it's about what the whole needs. And the manosphere needs information, it needs the scholars and so on and whatnot. You know, and I'm not really trying to get off topic, but I'm gonna go all the way back to 5150 with Corey Holcomb and Zoe Williams. You know, one of the most heinous things I ever seen was when Zoe Williams was punching Aries Spears live on television. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, I'm like, yo, nigga, at no point in time has Zoe Williams, now he wanna coach everyone, he wanna call himself alpha male, but like, yo, nigga, you don't punched up on a dude who obviously ain't trying to fight you. You know what I'm saying? On televised circuit. You know what I'm saying? All because, nigga, you thought that, you know what I'm saying, he was the odd man out, and you felt that you could do that. And I'm like, nah, man, you can't be giving advice to brothers and calling yourself a man, and you set the complete wrong example for all of the fucking manosphere.
yeah, you know, look, my whole thing has been this. You know, I know I'm academic, and some of the topics that I talk about a little bit heady, or a little bit cerebral. But look, dude, I'm a regular ass dude, man. If you have a regular conversation with me, man, you'll understand that, like, I'm not on all that artsy fartsy bullshit. You know, I have a common touch. Like, I can go anywhere. I can be in the suburbs or the trap, and I'm gonna be cool wherever I am. I could be in the sticks, a rural area with motherfuckers around campfire doing hunting and craftsman shit. I can go anywhere.
Love that shit, man.
That's the way I want to be. I can hang with kings and paupers and feel that they both deserve respect. You know, so but you know, you got guys, man, who consider themselves to be a cut above other people. And that's just not how I perceive myself, man. You know, and the other thing I want to say is, man, all I did was, man, propose to make a documentary, man, and motherfuckers in the manosphere lost their mind, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dude, I wasn't trying to get rich off this, man. Man, how many people get rich from documentaries anyway, bro? The whole point was to expose information, man, and to make a movement that transcends beyond social media. That's all it was, man. And but I feel like even within the confines of the space, man, you got guys who, they feel like there's a pecking order here,
right.
and this is not an institution, man. This is not a bureaucracy. It's not an institution with formal officers or anything, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just not. It's a public sphere. And you got guys, man, who want to copyright ideas and terms and say I came up with the term first. And look, and also I'm just being honest about it, okay? Also, you got to think, man. Some guys are, envious of other success, and they feel like, oh well, how did he blow up and I ain't blow up, and you hold me back. And look, it's like the music industry, man. They can give two artists the same budget. And they gave, case in point, Universal Records gave Nelly a record deal. I don't even think, now he's from St. Louis, I don't think he's the greatest rap artist ever. I mean, he had a little style that apparently was catchy for a certain period of time, but it was a group from New York called Ram Squad, or the East Coast. They might have been from Philly or something like that. They was called Ram Squad. And I think they were superior lyrically and hip hop wise. That was just my opinion. They got the same budget. They had the same structure of marketing, the whole nine. Nelly took off and went diamond. Ram Squad didn't sell 100,000 records, man. They probably didn't sell 10,000 records, man. You can't determine what's going to blow up or what's going to pop. It's the people that decided, man. And it's a little bit of luck, a little bit of preparation, a little bit of talent. But all the envy, man, because people I want to be on top. I want to be perceived as dominant. I want to be that motherfucker, Come on, man. We gotta, we got to think bigger than that, man. To me, it's about all boats lifting up with the tide, man. And black men, we got a lot of issues still. Like, I mean, the conversations have begun to happen, and some people's ears are open, but it ain't changed policy yet. It ain't changed one institution yet. It ain't changed family court policies and child support laws yet. You know what I'm saying? These things are going to still have an impact or an effect over black men's lives. My only hope was, what can we do to take a step forward and move increasingly towards being able to manage these institutions, these policies and bureaucracies. That's the only thing I'm trying to do, bro. Now, it might be cerebral. I might be an academician, but I'm still the type of guy, man, who can sit down with you, drink a brew on the porch.
Yeah, you got social skills, man. I think a lot of people that like originated this internet, stuff, as far as like using alpha male on the internet, they weren't really qualified to talk about the real world, and how things really work. They were out here, from the outside looking in and trying to define and create, these words and stuff for stuff they didn't really understand, and think that, men just, are meeting to other men or whatever, and that's how they get power. But they weren't really in it. So they didn't really know, that's more like, just, that's not really how it goes down. So I think that's really what it, that's one of the factors, of why, that term that doesn't really make sense is out there, you know what I mean? Because the people that adopted it, they didn't really know the real world like that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. But, but I'll say this, I know guys who are violent, man, and they not really talkative, man. Those guys aren't the guys who present themselves as alphas, but they'll bust a dude who present himself as an alpha, man. They'll bust his ass to oblivion.
Yeah,
you know why? They don't make noise. They make moves. That's it.
I like I said earlier, I never associated alpha with violence, but I want to speak to what you said earlier about the doc, right? The documentary. This is the issue that I have with that. You wouldn't be the first person to do a doc that was in the manosphere, and you wouldn't be the first person that had an issue. Like it seems to me that anybody that decides to take their platform to spread their message in a manner that comes across like they might make 2 pennies is a problem for other black people. But that's a black person thing. That's a black people thing. That's a black culture thing. It's like a like
it's a crab in a bucket thing. Actually, it's a pocket watching thing.
Yeah.
I was trying. I mean, we all know that term, and I was trying not to say that, but yes, that's what it is. And it doesn't matter if everything in the doc is real, and it's cool that people get on YouTube and they talk to you and you listen and they be entertained by it, as long as they feel like he ain't becoming a millionaire, right? Look at Polite. Polite was like, you know what? Fuck y'all Negroes. I'm going over here. And that's the problem, is that, when you start preaching or you represent black people in a certain way, not only do the people listening to you feel a way if they feel like you're either making a living or prospering over it, but the other guys doing what you do that also. And that's that HNIC bullshit.
You understand? Yeah, I get that, man. Look, all I said was, hey, like, think about it, man. Just look at the facts, man. Crowdfunding is a thing, man. It ain't going nowhere. Okay? Now, it's gonna stay here. It's not going anywhere no time soon. Indiegogo ain't going nowhere. Kickstarter ain't going nowhere. And what's the other one that's really GoFundMe? They ain't going nowhere, bro. And white folks is investing, and queer folks are investing, and women are investing in their interest in order to get projects done. They're doing that.
The only person that cannot get anything for free is us. Motherfuckers gotta sweat, bleed, and cry. Blood, sweat, and tears. If we ain't bleeding, sweating, and crying, we're begging. So when people say, "Oh, you want a handout," right? That's what they call it. A dime that goes to a black man for free is called a handout. Girls can get on the fucking GoFundMe's and all this other shit and beg to get their PPP loans repaid, right? White people can get on there and ask for all types of money for the stupidest shit, right? Mm-hmm. And nobody looks at them crazy. The only time, motherfuckers get looked at crazy is when it's us, and we can have the most valid reasons for being on there. Like, we're putting together a doc with the points and the views that you get on YouTube and listen to all day. You don't want to pay for this? You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to support this, but we'll support the PPP girl and Gorilla Glue girl and all this other stupid shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, but look, all I want to say is, man, look, that's why I'm telling you why I made the campaign such that if it didn't come to fruition where I couldn't actually get everything done, that's why everybody got a refund. Now, I didn't do the Black Lives Matter shit where you got women, they just collecting ends open-endedly.
Yep.
And now they're like rich.
Mm-hmm.
They can go buy beachfront property. And the families of these slaughtered men, whether rightly or wrongly, justly or unjustly, however you perceive it, they still broke, man. They still in the hood, man.
Hey, bro, if BLM was a black male organization, the FBI be in that bitch. Trust me, they would have done knocked down the doors.
Oh, it would have been disbanded from the start.
It would have been a hate group, straight up.
It would have torn that shit apart already. You know it, I know it, we all know it, all of that shit. But these chicks, like you said, open-ended. These chicks is collecting millions, even billions for free, and we're like, who, what, where's the money going? And there ain't no inquiry, no investigation. None of that shit is going on. But let a motherfucker get on YouTube, he get flagged. Let a motherfucker get on GoFundMe, he get ridiculed, and all this other shit, man. And to credit Umar, even though he's bugging the fuck out with that shit that he's talking now, that shit that he said about the school he was trying to build, whether we want to believe it or not, at the end of the day, just for the sake of argument, let's say he was sincere and he was serious. right? If he was building a girls' school, that shit would be freestanding right now.
Yeah, I believe it would be standing right now. Oprah would have kicked in. Some people in the government would have kicked in. You know, but you already know what this is, man. Like I said before, bro. You know, I'm here for the long haul, man. I'm gonna keep doing the work I do. Some people are going to appreciate it, and some people are going to have an aversion to it. It just is what it is. It comes with the territory, man. You pick what you want. It's like you going to the coffee or you going to the soda dispenser. You know, you might want some orange, some strawberries, some peach, some Coca-Cola, some Pepsi, whatever. Go get what you want, man. If you don't like it, you don't have to put it in your cup, man.
Right.
It just is what it is. Just select what you decide, man. Do what you want. You know what I'm saying? It is what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
part of it.
But if I may say something,
because go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is this, man. What I noticed is that, well, from what I've seen and what I've heard in the Black manosphere is that the men over there don't appreciate that people utilize their utility, okay, towards the network in different ways and in different contexts, okay, depending on how they structure it for themselves based upon what they can utilize as being assets to the network, right? And it seems like, well, if you're not doing things one way or you're not one click, you know, and you're not, you know, how can I say, you're not reflecting your utility to the network in that way that, you know, that the network demands it or orders you to do it, then all of a sudden, you know, you're a fraud, you know, or how can I say it? It's like you just don't matter. You can't do it right. You damn if you do, you damn if you don't.
This is why I said, man, you know, you got to think, man, about an army or a military force. You got the Army, the Navy, the Marines, and the Coast Guard. Some of them are going to provide ground support. Some people are going to be on the water. Some people are going to be in the air. And they're all going to have different roles and functions to perform while they're trying to accomplish the overarching aim. You can't have everybody doing the same thing. Look, even a manager of a business, like say, for example, a restaurant business, everybody can't make burger tops. Everybody can't work the register. Everybody can't work the grill. Some people are going to have different functions and roles in the context of getting down to the nitty gritty and accomplishing the overarching goal. So, you know, so at the end of the day, you know, I'm not apologizing. At first I was like, well, let me provide a defense for the importance or the, you know, the substance of the PhDs in the space. But, you know, the more I thought about it, I'm like, man, bump that. If you don't like it, you don't have to deal with it. It's a click off. Click. You can listen or not listen. But see, the problem is not the people who are consuming the content. It's the content creators. That's the issue. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they perceive the space as a competitive space. Either they're competing for resources because this is their livelihood, or they're competing for adoration or esteem. I'm not competing for either resources or esteem. I'm just trying to give you the information. If you want the information, you take it, you do what you want to with it. If you find the information irrelevant to what it is that you're trying to accomplish on your end of the spectrum, all you have to do is just click off. Do you? But I'm telling you right now, I'm not a life coach. I'm not a relationship counselor. I'm not trying to create harmony amongst you and your lady. You know, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm an advocate for justice, bruh. I talk about issues related to justice. Now, if you don't like it, you don't like it. You can go elsewhere. It's just real simple. Right.
The problem is you hustling on our YouTube streets, man. You gotta go on another block, bro. I mean, it's only something.
Man, look here, man.
You serving our customer, man. He's my customer. You gotta go down there, man. It's my block, man.
You know who block this is? This Google block, bro.
Exactly.
That's what you gotta understand. At the end of the day, this Google block, bro. It's YouTube block, bro.
I want my corners, B.
Man, you know, St. Louis, listen, you know, my brother got shot. He's a goner, black.
Brother said, I want my trap house.
Goner back. You know, all I'm saying is, man, look, people look at this like a zero-sum game. And I just don't understand why people look at this like an NFL Super Bowl championship. Like there's got to be a victor and there's got to be a loser. That's not what this is about, man. This is not a zero-sum game. It's not chess. It ain't checkers. It ain't spades. It ain't poker. Natural Bridge and Newstead, I hear you, dog. Kasuf, man. Fair. You know what I'm saying? Natural Bridge, Kings Highway, baby. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, like my man, he said Natural Bridge and Newstead. That's my stomping grounds right there, bro. You know, the M&A liquor store. The Chinaman right next door, the Golden House, baby. What you know about that? But anyway, man, you know, I done got ghetto, man. You know, I done got Pookie Ish. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at the end of the day, man, this whole concept of alpha is just something I want to draw to the brothers' attention. I'm glad y'all joined me in the conversation and discussion about it. And you know, tomorrow I'm gonna have a conversation about careerism. And you know, I think this is important because, you know, nowadays, you know, one of the ways that you establish your value is through your career. You know, and this is a relatively new concept within the concept of even Western culture. Because prior to the advent of the Industrial Revolution, man, people didn't, and this is academic, but prior to the advent of that, man, you didn't have a career. You just had a position and a rank and a station in life. Yeah. It was what it was. You just did what you had to do. If you were a peasant, you was gonna die one. Okay, like this idea, I want to select what I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna be a chemist. I'm gonna be a businessman. I'm gonna get an MBA, or you know, I'm gonna be a lawyer, or I'm gonna be a doctor, or I'm gonna be a dental hygienist, or you know, this careerism. I want to have a conversation about that, man. I think it's important to have a conversation about that. And now we link manhood to this, and even women, you know, are pursuing careers and so on and so forth. And you know, the identity is wrapped up in their careers. You know.
Yeah, that's also where the confusion comes from, I feel like, because it ain't like clear cut what it is to be a man anyways nowadays, kind of like you said, it's ambiguous. So it kind of makes sense why, you know, a term like alpha, you know, that doesn't even make sense would be something everybody's trying to like, you know, give their own definition to, because, you know, whether it's talking about having money, you know what I mean, women got money now, you know what I mean, what you supposed to do now, you man for that or whatever, you know, they call the police or whatever, you know what I mean? So what you do if you beat up somebody? You know what I mean? Like all the stuff that back in the day really made you a man or whatever. Like if something went bump in the night in the middle of, you know, your farm, you had to handle it. There wasn't no phone to call, you know, the police or something like that. But now she don't need you for that. So all that stuff, all about how to get a woman or whatever, does that make you a man? Online dating came. Girls can pick dudes off the apps. You know what I mean? So now how you gonna get it? You ain't the prettiest dude ever. So what's that gonna do? You know what I mean? So you know, pretty much all the manhood stuff, you know, it ain't really as clear as it used to be. So, you know, whether it's your job, women can pretty much do all the stuff. And I'm not saying women are the same as us. I'm not trying to be like all that all equal feminism stuff. Nah, but I'm just saying for real, let's be practical. Like the world, you know, kind of like automation. They kind of automated a lot of our, you know, services that we did for the world. You know, whether that was working and lifting stuff or whatever. Like, you know, now we got all the robots or whatever, all the people, you know, everything. It's just like, I feel like that's why manhood is and all that alphaness and everybody trying to figure out how to date. It's like, hey, man, you know, we've been replaced. But women going to get replaced, though, soon. I know it's a weird subject, but, you know, with the sex dolls and the robots in the future or whatever, then, like, they primary function of, like, you know, as far as why we like them, the sex thing. Now, what does it mean to be a woman then when you know, they got the fine robots? You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean then? You feel what I'm saying? So,
man, that's a hell of a conversation to have because, you know, these women are using dildos and stuff like that, but it's still a stigma associated with men using toys, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not manly. It's not perceived as manly.
Yeah, because you got to get the validation of the woman. You know what I mean? It's about pulling the chick, like her liking you. You can't spend money on it either. That's why. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I'm glad I'm a married man. I'm old. I'm 58 years old. I like having that comfort of knowing that, okay, well, wifey's next to me. She knows what I like. I know what she likes, and that's it. That's all we got to worry about.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, OnlyFans ain't in business because guys is got women. You know, OnlyFans is there because guys is jacking off.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's true.
That's
too.
what that's bro. It's the reality of the situation. But ain't too many men gonna say that they hit their meat. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother conversation altogether.
Yeah, man.
That's true, man. It's just, but Gigi, you know what? I just can't relate to the social dynamics, man, between people in the 21st century, man. I can't relate to that shit, man. I can't, man. I've been married, like I said. I've been married for damn near 30 years, man.
Man, it's a new day and age, bro. Thank you, Firebrand Central. Appreciate that, brother. But the only thing I wanted to do was to have this conversation and to open it up, man. And I can't change people's minds, man. All I'm trying to do is give you information to work around and ruminate through your own brain, man. And some people are going to have an appreciation for that. Others are going to say, well, if it ain't making dollars, if it ain't building a bridge, then it don't make sense. And I get that. I understand that. So, my function, because I build bridges. I can look back at some things I've made and say, okay, like this overpass right here, yeah, my labor and my sweat and my equity and my intellect went into that. So I get it. I understand it. I get it. But at the end of the day, man, thank you, brothers, for coming out, man.
But
can I say one thing, Gigi?
And I'm gonna let y'all say, yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say one thing, Gigi. Keep being a provocateur of thought.
Oh, for sure. Appreciate that, bro. I know I've been gone for a little while, but like I said, the only reason I was gone was because
because situated with your father. I understand that, man.
Yeah, man. You gotta take time out for the things that are important, man. And not to say that it's not important, but that's a priority to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing that my father could be under this endoscopy procedure and not come out of it being himself or not come out of it, period.
Right.
Like I need to spend time, conversing with him and, consoling his fears. And because, mortality is, I've seen one parent die in front of my face, my mother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, it's my last surviving, parent, you know what I'm saying? So, I gotta show love and appreciation, you know what I'm saying? I got to, So yeah. But anybody else want to close off with some comments? Eric, you got one.
Let me bring it home. What I'm saying, what I want to say, you know what I'm saying, with what you bringing out is that the manosphere, they want to keep the men in the manosphere, they want to keep the manosphere as this alpha beta space, because of the fact is they're not willing to go into their own lives and change and develop into based on the theory that they're promoting. So they want to come over here, and play the virtual reality shit when niggas over here is really trying to get some shit done. You know what I'm saying? So all the motherfuckers who hating on new innovations and all that, it's because nigga, you are the fucking betas for real, because you don't want to do it in real life, but you want to come over into this space and keep up all the shenanigans about the alpha male or whatever, just to keep other people out who are trying to innovate and do new and better things, like Kevin Samuels. Like everybody was hating. Yeah. I mean, I know how you feel about Kevin Samuels, but the thing is, it ain't about him specifically. You know what I'm saying? If you have a real ideological difference, but most of the motherfuckers just hate just because they want to keep everything the same, and that's not going to benefit us as black men. As black men, we have to grow and develop. We can't depend on identity. You know what I'm saying? Like females, because that's a female trait. Females are they can suffice with positions of power without the power. Black men can't. You know what I'm saying? We have to be able actually to have positions, but then to be able to use those positions in some kind of constructive manner, or else, you know what I'm saying, we don't feel like we're fulfilling our purpose. So keep doing your thing, keep helping us grow, and you know what I'm saying, and damn with all the naysayers.
There you go.
I'm gonna say something. I don't know if somebody else want to say something first, but before we get off of here, I definitely want to say something. Who else got something to speak on?
Go for it, man.
All right. I don't know who got the police.
Yeah, that's me. My bad, bro. I'm in LA. Shoot, you know this.
Yeah, got like some other things happening. So, G, like at the end of the day, Kevin Samuels' name was mentioned, right? when people tear him down because he's not an academic, or he's not this, he's not that, or he was divorced twice, or whatever the case may be, you know, they come at you for being an academic, and they come at other academics in this space. At the end of the day, there will always be a reason that motherfuckers will seek to disqualify someone else's opinion, or whatever the case may be, that's not theirs or that they disagree with. You know, for the most part, I rock with a lot of things Umar say. He say a lot of true shit, but this ain't his lane. He needs to fall the fuck back, because he is one of those people that you know, glaringly, you know, him and types like him who, you know, they'll speak on everything, but they, you know, they have this thing where they refuse to check Black women. They just refuse to do it in any way whatsoever, even in a constructive way. So that, you know, when they say Kevin Samuels speaks in a way that, you know, he could change his tone to speak better, I challenge any of these people that are actually saying that to use a tone that would be preferred. And, you know, I want to know what tone that would be. It's like white folks complaining about
it ain't happening. It ain't happening on any level.
Hey man, let me just say this in response to that, Mark.
And I got some more to say to you also, but go ahead.
but people, man, one of the things that women have been saying for, like, especially feminists, been saying for like the past 30 years, tone policing. Don't police my tone. Don't tell me how to express myself. I can express myself through anger, frustration. I can express myself with rhetoric. You know, I don't have to be impartial, dispassionate. I don't have to use, you know, the kind of comportment that works within the business world or the academic world. I can, you know, I can protest. I can yell. I can scream. I can, you know, twerk or whatever the case may be. But now you want to have tone policing when it comes to you. You want somebody in reference to speaking to you to be respectful. And I'm telling you why. It's all because they believe that women deserve deference.
Yes, facts. They want to be
they believe,
they want to be deities, basically.
Man, but you also are asking for equality. You can't have equality and deference simultaneously.
Nah, I mean,
they don't care nothing about that.
they want to be spoken to differently. They want kid gloves. They want, you know, the caressing of the back, the patting of the head bullshit, and they're adults. Like I tell people, I say, listen, man, I speak to women like the adults they are. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. If you want me to handle you like an adult, I'm gonna speak to you the same way I'm gonna speak to that guy over there. Is going, you know, you want equality. You're an adult. You're a grown person making grown person decisions. In any other context, I'm gonna deal with you that way. In this context, what I wanted to say to you, G, first of all, and shout out to BGS because he's in the chat.
Yeah, shout out to BGS, man. Big shout out to BGS.
Yeah, shout out to BGS.
Hello, BGS.
I appreciate you because, you know, people talk this and that about, you know, academics and blah, and you already know, me and you have discussed this already. To me, that has a lot to do with our culture and our opinions on any Black person educated in the first place. But without going there, you know, between you, T. Hassan, and a few others, y'all brought me to YouTube because I was a Facebook guy. Y'all brought me out up on this motherfucker, and I appreciate being able to get invited to things like this. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, again, you know, anything, whether it be a description or, you know, any other thing that people want to use to disqualify an opinion that they don't agree with will be used, whether it's the names that we used earlier, the unfavorable ones, or whether they, you know, they want to use your education against you or this or that against you, or, you know, like I said, if they see you putting together something that has anything to do with bread, because everybody want to be head nigga in charge on YouTube, you know, these are the things that you're gonna have to deal with, man. And I mean, it just is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Thank you for the support, my brother. I appreciate that. Now we got an extra special guest, man. Firebrand. He made a donation. Firebrand, what's good with you, brother, man?
What's going on, man? I haven't talked to you in a while, but I just want to say that your platform is quite refreshing, in my opinion. You know, I go to a lot of different platforms, and I think a lot of brothers go to platforms for edification. They don't have to agree with everything that everybody says. Everybody's got their own perspective on the information, or, you know, everybody's own stance on certain positions. But I just think that some of the pettiness that goes on in this space doesn't help anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you have a lot of people, you know, throwing insults and, oh, if like you guys were talking about, like, people have their own different little social spaces, whether you were an educated lane, whether you were a Pookie and Ray Ray, all these social constructs, you know, where if you don't fit into this box, or well, you couldn't get no pussy when you, or this one says you're just a criminal, and, you know, it's just a whole bunch of stereotypes being thrown back and forth. And how is that helping? How is that productive? And if you want people to convert, if you're trying to convert people, you're damn sure not going to do it with ad hominems and all kinds of attacks. That's not going to help make your case. But, you know, some people are not getting that. You know what I mean? The temperament, you know, people are going to have to, you know, think a little bit more about how they approach people. Look, you're not going to get everybody to, in life, you're not going to get everybody to agree with your opinion. You know what? Not everybody, and guess what? Everybody can be right and wrong at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And certain things. So, you know, but
well,
again,
you know, some things are a matter of taste.
Yes.
You know, and you know, when it comes to aesthetics and, you know, there's a million different ways to get to, you know, White Castle, or, you know, to the Shake Shack. You ain't got to take, you know, I ain't got to take one way to get there. I can go to back street to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and so, you know, some guys have ideals about what they think is the road to progress for Black folks and Black men in particular. And, you know, they're going to stick with that. And then, you know, they think that other people are useless. You know, my only thing is, look, if you don't find the information useful, you're free to look elsewhere. You know?
Yes. Change the channel.
Just change the channel. Don't invest. Pick rocks. Holla at you.
And listen, I don't want to beat this horse up, but I just want to bring up, okay, like with this situation with Kevin Samuels, right? I know. No, listen, I just want to make a real quick comment about that. Now, listen, regardless of whether or not you like Kevin Samuels, hate Kevin Samuels, I still got to give that brother credit. He is very good at debating these women, because I can tell you, me personally, it wouldn't take me but maybe more than 20 minutes, but I'd be ready to curse some of these sisters out. I'm just going to be straight up about it. That you got to have a lot of patience. You got to have a lot of patience to put up with some of the nonsense and the fuckery that some of these women come up with. It's just like, this is illogical. Yeah, I mean, the intellectual dishonesty is just off the chain, man. It's off the chain.
Ian, let him know. I've been doing exactly what he's doing on Facebook for 10 years. Exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, you've been doing it.
Yeah, you have been. I've seen you do it. I've seen you do it.
You gotta have a drink. You have a drink next to you when you're doing it, right? You got a drink next to you.
But you know what? But the thing is, I think his show is popular because, for one, you know, he's actually willing to say what women have not been, you know, had said to them openly and earnestly quite a bit of time. So it's a shock. You know, it's like, oh, what? You mean to tell me this man just told me, man, I'm built like a fullback. I'm built like Emmitt Smith. You know, like,
I think he has a brilliant business model. And I'll tell you why. First of all, he's taking advantage of women's natural hypergamy. Also, they're one for attention, and he's got that in the right type of setting and the right kind of structure to make it to where they will come on there, right? Get up on the camera, and, you know, they'll sit there and talk. And even if they're the biggest liars in the world, they just like the attention, you know. But he still is able to get, you know, something out of them that say here, see, this is how these women think. You know what I'm saying?
It's not hard. Gotta just let them talk, bro. Let them talk long enough. That's how easy it is. Let them talk long enough, bro.
Yeah.
But anyway, fellas, man, I don't want to, you know, we get to the 2-hour mark here, man.
All right.
So, you know, my closing remark is, you know, at the end of the day, man, we all Black men, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, you got some of us who are doing better than others in the context of this country. But until we get a piece of this pie like we ought to be written into the contract, we're gonna have to continue to speak and protest and to continue to, you know, fuss and cuss and raise up some dust. You know, just is what it is. Because you know, we have been here just as long as they've been here. We done put in
I'm going over there to Matt, yeah.
twice as much work.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go in there.
For half as much, you know, gain. So we want our piece of the American pie, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And we want what's, you know, we want what's righteously and justly and deservingly coming to us. That's it.
Oh, I'm going into Palumbo's. Oh no, he's closed. Is he? Oh, I thought he was.
You might got to mute.
Oh, I thought he was closing at 9. Oh.
So anyway, y'all, man.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Anyway, y'all, man. Peace out, man. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow.
All right. Thank you as usual.
Tomorrow.
Salute to you, brother. Thank you.
Thank y'all for joining me.
Salute to the panel.
All right.
Salute to y'all.
Oh, by the way, can I throw in this real quick? I'm trying to put together a blog post that I'm hoping that I can put it as a contributory thing to the basically to the Manosphere. I'm hoping I might send you a message on Instagram, sir.
Send me or either email me. My email is on the channel. So appreciate you, bro.
No, thank you. Thank you. All right.
All right, man. If there's no more closing statements, man, I'm about to get up on Not This Just Joint.
All right. Other than that, thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Ian, I'm going to be doing another jump off. That you're welcome to join in. You know, GG, same thing. And yeah, other than that, man, GG, glad to see you back and glad to be able to be on one of these again.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, GG, I want to say directly, man. I'm glad that your father's on the mend, man.
Yeah, man, he's good, man. He's doing too much already though. He done mowed the lawn and everything. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be chilling for 6 weeks, bro, doing nothing. He already up mowing the lawn. I'm like, dude, you're 78, man. You just had brain surgery, bro. Sit down, man. You know, but you know, you can't tell him nothing. You can't tell him nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Well, it's like you've been saying though the whole time, man. I mean, the man's gonna do what he programs himself to do, you know, till he can't do it no more.
Yeah, that's what he gonna do. That's what he gonna do.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, gentlemen, man.
Come from some good stop.
Well, hey, man, much love to y'all, man. Thank you for the support and the appreciation, man. You keep me going. So thank y'all. And all the people who support me, man, thank y'all too, man. And all the haters out there. Peace out, man. Have a good day.
Salute.
Salute.
Hello.
Salute to the haters. I'll holler at y'all.
All right.
Salute. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.